Good morning and welcome back to another installment of this fascinating conversation between your internet dads. That's Deacon, I'm JJ, and we meet here Monday through Friday, and I lost my coffee. Found my coffee.
Not cold, man.
Found my coffee. I almost killed myself this morning.
That's no good.
No, it's not good. I almost tripped and impaled my face with a pipe used to hold a tiki torch. So it's no big deal that we're a couple minutes late, folks.
Jeez, it's always something with you.
Things could be definitely possibly worse, and I'm glad I'm not dead. I don't know that I'm going to tell my wife that I almost killed myself in the backyard.
Yeah, there's some things that you just keep to yourself, you know? You don't want to share. Yes. And you know she doesn't watch this show, so there's no possibility she's going to see it on here.
Every once in a while, but I don't think she's going to find out that I very nearly impaled myself on a tiki torch.
I'm glad you're okay.
Had a rough, yeah. Thank you, thanks. I had a rough morning with the kiddo. It's my kids are in kindergarten and first grade, Deke, and in kindergarten and first grade, they have a thing called book fair. Hey, good morning, Joey. They have a thing called book fair, which is a trick to get parents to spend way too much money on books, but the kids enjoy it.
I loved getting the book fair thing and going through and circling what I wanted and then begging my mom and her saying, no, you can only get one.
Yeah.
But I want this and this and this and this.
Yeah, right. Now, some parents are crazy. Apparently, this is what is today? Tuesday. Don't let me forget. I'm not going to forget. I have a conference call at the end of this. But some parents are crazy, and apparently, their solution for funding the book fair and letting their kids buy books was not to hand their children cash, which is highly irresponsible. You don't just give kids cash. That's crazy.
No.
And they didn't exactly want to do the book fair apparatus, which is to set up an e-gift card kind of thing, and then the kids can spend, whatever dollars in credit. That would be, there's a lot of hurdles to jump through there. So apparently some parents were sending their kids to school with their credit card. To which I said, well, that's absolutely insane. Why would you do that? That's crazy.
You're talking about kindergartners and first graders?
Yes, exactly.
It would be different if you were talking about, 10th and 11th graders.
It would be not that much. In fact, that might be worse, but
it would be different though. But
well, yeah, there would be. Yeah, it's just all bad. It's all bad. So my youngest daughter could not grasp the concept. Oh, hold on. Let me. So because some kids were taking their parents' cards to school, and then they would try to go to the book fair, and the book fair people were like, "Oh no, I'm not running your parents' credit card without that. I'm not doing that."
Fair people.
So the story began circulating among the kindergarteners and first graders or whatever that they were not accepting money at the book fair. So, which led my daughter into a tailspin because we were like, she was like, I want to buy books. And we were like, okay, well, mom and dad talked about it and we're going to put some money on your e account. And she was like, you can't use the e account. They won't let you do it. It doesn't. Can I see it? No, you can't see it. It's an e account. You can't see it. They won't let you do it. So for at least a solid hour this morning, there was tremendous yelling in the house. And I was just like, please stop yelling. And cannot explain to a kindergartner the abstract concept of an e account that has money that you can spend without holding it in your hand. So that was a wild morning, and eventually I think we eventually browbeat her like you can buy books. Stop yelling at dad. So
that's great.
Yeah.
You're gonna miss that one day. I'm telling you.
Yes, I will. I hope I will. But it doesn't make this morning easy. All right, Deke.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you had a good morning. Good morning, Joey. Guys. I'd like to talk about something mysterious.
Ooh, we're starting off the show mysteriously.
Mysterious.
Cool.
I saw a couple of videos lately, and I was like, do you know how when you watch a video and it's AI and you can't exactly pick it out, but you know something's wrong.
Off, like that Donald Trump thing that everybody was sharing, and I'm like, that's something's
Right.
off about that.
Yeah. So it's like that, but I'm certain it's not AI. But I have seen something mysterious in the last couple of days, and I just wanted to see if you guys pick up on it. I'm talking about, I don't know how much you even read the show notes.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. The worms?
Excellent. This is great. No worms. No. I'm talking about the mysterious glow of AOC. AOC seems to have acquired
Is this the blanked out story?
Oh, hold on.
JJ, when we put stuff in the show notes, it'll come up, and whatnot, and it'll kind of give me a headline of what it is, and everything was blanked out on this one, and only JJ would have to put the coding in to blank it from my view. So I'm not one of those people that, ooh, what is he trying to hide? You are trying to hide something from me so that you can get my natural reaction, and I'm not going to spoil it.
We don't even have to talk about it.
I know what you're doing. Okay.
There's no reason for me to hide something that nobody else in the world can see except you.
So you said the mysterious glow of AOC.
Let's watch this.
And I'm losing my mind.
I'm putting some stuff together already in my head.
Smoke coming out the top of my head, but get it together. Get it together. Cast your vote.
It doesn't matter what she's saying here.
So we can be done with this. I do not want to do 4 more years of resistance nonsense under Donald Trump. Okay.
She looks
good
giddy.
God. Like, do we remember what it was like waking up every day and there was some shit going on?
Yeah, I really could. Well, how about this one? How about this one, Deke?
Okay. Ooh.
We are about to enter a political period that will have consequences for the rest of our lives.
Does your eye detect something?
She looks a little
cannot give up.
Retaining water.
We now find ourselves in a time in history that has precedent, and we find ourselves, I believe, in a time where
blah 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 blah. It doesn't matter what she's saying.
Sounds like a freaking off-tune trumpet.
Maybe I don't know where all the joy went, but some of the swelling hasn't subsided yet, and maybe she's
go back to that other video real quick. I want to look at something.
Maybe that's grief. This is about from 2 weeks ago. About 8 days before the election.
Wait a minute.
She's
wait a minute. This is what I was looking for. In that first video, I wanted to see her makeup. You're an artist. Let's look from an artist's perspective on her makeup. Where is the shading going in the makeup? The colors of the makeup, how it's tapered her face into that square jaw. You see that perfect little drawn line of her jaw there? That is makeup. That is shading right there. There's shading around her nose. Oh God, that's an even better one. Look at all
contouring. My wife calls that stuff contouring.
Yeah, contouring, but as an artist, I call it shading. You're right now. I'm drawing this picture of Deacon, and I was doing the browns last night. So I'm going through with dark browns first, and then I'm going to go a little lighter, and then another lighter brown.
Yeah.
You know how you do it because you're an artist, and that's what I was looking at. I was like, okay, are they using makeup to taper her face? Obviously, of course, everybody does that. Uses makeup to taper their face. But let's go back to the other one where she's just sitting in her house.
Yeah.
She looks like she just woke up and she had her base on.
Yeah, definitely less prepared here.
Yeah.
Harsh lighting.
You got the rouge. You don't
overhead
have that lighting, right?
Yeah.
And look at the jaw there. Well, that sure ain't square anymore, is it? It's not a straight line. That's more of a little curve.
I hope she's not sick. I don't want her to be ill.
No, I don't wish any ill will on anything.
Not. I'm very concerned.
Except for that one guy.
You know, very concerned. Now, now some folk, especially Marjorie Taylor Greene, are churning out right-wing conspiracies about this, sir. Yeah.
What are they saying?
MTG churns out right-wing AOC rumor mill with choose life this time post. What? What do you mean, MTG? Marjorie Taylor Greene, what are you talking about? She's dipping her toes into the right-wing rumor mill. So it is now. Well, let's get to it. Dipping her toes into a right-wing rumor mill on Monday when calling on Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to birth a child. Quote, have a baby. Choose life this time. You'll be happier. Oh my gosh. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, and definitely not me in particular, is asserting that AOC may be pregnant. Maybe pregnant. That would explain the swelling and the glow. It would kind of explain that.
Yeah, it would obviously explain it.
Yeah. This woman, June, says, y'all, AOC is glowing. She's stunning, evil, and dumb, but stunning. You know, there's only two reasons that come to mind. Either she spent $100,000 on her face or she's pregnant. So that's a person named June. June Bot, probably. And here's Dan Peters, who says, yeah.
Some people just know. You know, some people don't know, but some people just know when other people are pregnant, especially women. But there are men out there, but an overwhelming majority of women can look at another woman and be like, she's pregnant. Or look at the signs and put it together real quickly.
Well, if you pay any attention to, you know, social media, news, politics, that kind of stuff, then you're familiar with AOC. And as soon as I saw this t-shirt video right here, as soon as I saw this, I was like, something's up.
Yeah, she looks pregnant in that video, don't she?
Something's up, AOC. And then I went back and found that glowing video that June posted. And then now I saw somewhere else. Let's see if it was on X. Let's see if I saw it on X. Be patient. There was a video of AOC at maybe it's on this one.
Friday night cage match with MTG versus AOC.
Right.
This Friday night, live on the Internet Dad Show. I've got the WWE 2024, and you can create your own characters and videotape it and have the computer play against each other. So what if we do that? What if I set up a like AOC versus MTG? I can create their characters and we can have them fight each other and see who wins.
I mean,
Friday night fights.
I wonder how that would
with the Internet Dads.
I don't know.
And I would record it,
so
and upload it.
There's some other evidence.
It's a pretty good idea.
Is it a battle? Is it a battle of words? Are they going to just be throwing like?
No, I would create them as wrestlers, and they'll be beating the crap out of each other in video game form. No, it's not a bad idea. We
suspect AOC is pregnant. I think maybe that would be bad form. I don't think that would be a good message. So she's been appearing on talk shows and been well covered. We'll say she's wearing the disguise my shape clothes. You know what I mean? Did your did your wife ever wear the disguise my shape kind of outfits? You know,
I don't know.
You didn't pay attention
to that question.
You didn't pay attention.
I don't know how to answer that question.
I'm talking loose jackets.
I'll pass on that one. I don't know what you're talking about, huh?
Look at this one. This is another video that I saw. Look, I mean, anyway, okay.
She does look a little, but what do I know? I'm a stupid guy.
Joey likes your MTG Friday Night Fights idea.
Yeah, because I was going through the hairs the other day, and there's one that looks like Donald Trump, and I was like, "Oh, that's a Trump hair." There's hundreds of crap to personalize your little characters on there. It's great.
I don't know anything about that. All right.
I know I'm a nerd.
Well, it could be wrong. I could be wrong. She might not be pregnant. There could be something else up. I'm not sure. There could be some other reason that she's seemingly glowing and inflated. So, and you know what? Good for her. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm just. I will say this. It's in some other presidential news. I saw this story this morning. I thought maybe you would have some thoughts about it. Does this song, Seven Nation Army, mean something to you?
Yes. Oh, I know.
How many times have you heard that song?
1,000,000,004. 1,000,000,005 now.
Hey, listen, you have to admit that jam has got a unique signature. You cannot miss it.
Let me just say this as a music person. I said this. We were just talking about producers and engineers the other day, me and my brother. And I actually was talking producers and engineers with William Lee Golden from the Oak Ridge Boys, the old man with the big hair and the big long beard. I got to interview him the other day, and I was telling my brother about us talking about producers. And I mentioned Jack White. Jack White has an incredible ear. He can hear stuff that other people can't. He's like Rick Rubin. He knows what he likes, and it's good. Jack White produces a lot of country type albums and stuff now. And Loretta Lynn's he did 2 or 3 of Loretta Lynn's final albums. And there's one called the Van Leer Rose, Loretta Lynn Van Leer Rose. And it's fantastic if you listen to it from an engineering point of view, because it's like he recorded in an old wooden one-room schoolhouse. You know, it's freaking great. So I appreciate Jack White that way. There's him and Meg are both crazy liberals though. So.
I think Jack White took some of his success money and set up a recording studio, and like I think I've seen some videos of it in the past. I think it may be in Nashville even. So,
yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
He's definitely a set up a recording studio where he's doing productions.
Yeah, he's all over Nashville.
And we talked about this kind of story before, but apparently the White Stripes is now dropping their copyright suit against Donald Trump over the use of Seven Nation Army. The plaintiffs, John Anthony White and Megan Martha, individually and collectively, aka the White Stripes, hereby dismiss without prejudice all claims against the defendants Donald John Trump, Donald J. Trump for President Inc., and Margot McD. Martin. So,
well, now why did they do that, JJ?
They probably, almost certainly Trump and Trump for President licensed a bunch of music to play at I
know all that, but.
Oh, why did they drop the case?
Yeah.
Probably because it's like futile. Apparently the case was alleging that Trump had used the White Striped Seven Nation Army in a social media post without license. That was the claim. And I think maybe they're just like, whatever, let's just actually they did not say why they dropped the court case, but Inner City Press, who's awesome, and you should follow him on X.
Jesus Christ. They said that in that tweet. Good God. Docket dive. The White Stripes sued Trump in 9/24 for use of Seven Nation Army, which they called among the most well-known and influential musical works of all time. Are you serious? That's the dumbest statement I have ever read. Is it recognizable? Yes, it's absolutely recognizable. But is it one of the most influential musical works of all time? Absolutely not. And anyone that says that's the most influential musical work of all time is a moron, and you shouldn't be taking any advice from them.
I believed it. I read that and I was like, well, that makes sense, I guess. I know that song.
Good God.
I believed it.
It's recognizable.
Yeah. I mean, there's only so many
But
many
so
notes
is
and so
but
many
so
combinations
is
of
wait
notes.
a minute, but so is do 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 da 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 is all I want to say to you. Do 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 da da. Is that one of the most influential musical works of all time?
You
I
know,
love the
maybe not
Police.
for
Come on.
well, maybe for a different generation. Maybe for a different generation. The case was filed in September with the duo from the defunct music. The White Stripes haven't been the White Stripes in a long time. I think they used to be married, and then they
no, they weren't married. I thought they were brother and
that
sister.
doesn't. Oh, are they brother and sister? Well, they might be married. I don't know. I don't know anything about them personally. But the White Stripes, that doesn't stop White Stripes royalties checks from rolling in every time Seven Nation.
They were married. They were married. Okay. I wasn't a big White Stripes fan. I only became a fan of Jack White after I was listening to stuff and looking up who was the producer, who was the engineer on that. And he was on a couple of these freaking country albums. And I was like, well, that's crazy. And I started looking into it a little more. I don't give a crap about the White Stripes. I know it's a stupid song because he'd play it on the radio every freaking day, 6 times a day. Jesus Christ.
So the Billboard noted that while the motion to dismiss the case did not explain the reasoning behind dropping the case, federal copyright litigation can take years to play out and is expensive. So it's probably like, what's the point? He already won. I don't want to go bankrupt fighting this dumb thing. So they probably just were like, just drop the case. Which, if you're keeping score, makes it like Trump 1 million, everybody else 0.
You know that I'm trying to find what his real last name is. He took her name when they got married.
What was her name?
Megan Martha White.
Oh, wow. He took her name?
Yeah.
That's a manly move right there.
John Anthony Gillis. Right. John Anthony Gillis. He's now legally John Anthony White.
You really can't blame him because Jack White is a way cooler name than Jack Gillis or John Gillis. All right.
Whatever.
What else do we got this morning? So we've got we've got glows, we've got nose, and you guys, what do you want to cover? I got some just like dorky stuff in here.
Yeah, I've got some science stuff. Have you ever used or given your kids Sudafed or Mucinex or Benadryl or Advil or Tylenol or Vicks or Dimetapp for their congestion and stuff like that? Or have you ever taken it as a decongestant?
Mucinex for sure. That breaks up that stuffy nose.
Yeah, it's what it says.
I feel like you're gonna tell me something horrible.
Do you feel when you take that medicine that you get better and it breaks up your nose and that stuff, or do you feel like you need to continue to take that medicine in order for it to work because it don't work after a while or whatnot? Or do you think your body just naturally gets over what it is that you're doing, that you've got? The reason I ask you all this, JJ, because you're very hesitant to answer, is because one of the drugs that they've pushed in all of these things since they have they there was the pseudoephedrine that was in all of those, and they had to take it out because a lot of that stuff was being put behind the counter, and the drug companies did not like the fact that Sudafed, PE, nasal, Vicks, Dayquil, NyQuil, Tylenol, cold and flu, all that stuff was behind the counter, and they did not like that. So they took the pseudoephedrine out, and they put oral phenylphrine in it. Oral phenylphrine. Here, I'm going to bring up this.
There you go, Miss Danger. That's for you right there.
Make me moderator so I can show you this.
Oh, yeah. Let me fix it.
Excuse me.
Phenylphrine is a word I'm familiar with. I've read that a bunch of times.
Yeah, right there. You see that? Oh, is that my page?
No, it's not. Let me stop sharing. Sorry, folks.
There you go.
Phenylphrine.
Yeah, phenylphrine. Well, the FDA and the USDA has now proposed an order to remove oral phenylphrine from every single cold, cough, allergy, bronchodilator, anti-asthmatic drug product available today. Roughly 4/5 of all oral decongestants. This oral phenylphrine.
What's up with oral phenylphrine?
That they've told you that works does not work. It
doesn't work.
It's the same. It is no better. The proposed order comes after a year after an independent advisory board for the FDA unanimously concluded that while oral phenylphrine is safe to consume, it's no better than a placebo at clearing a stuffy nose.
This is according to who? Because it is not according to you or me, because this is not medical advice. Who is this? Who is saying this?
The Federal Drug Administration, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, announced today that this is in there. This is not us offering any advice. I'm reading directly from this sciencealert.com that I go to every day.
Wow.
So it's the FDA's role to ensure that the drugs are safe, says Patricia Casavini, director of the administration's Center for Drug Evaluation and Research. Based on our review of available data and consistent with the advice of the advisory committee, we are taking this next step in the process to propose removing oral phenylphrine because it is not effective as a nasal decongestant. And it goes on to talk to you about nasal phenylphrine and everything that they've been doing. And
I definitely
it's like
can say that
$1.3 billion industry from just that. Just that is $1.3 billion.
That's a lot of money.
Phenylphrine was first approved by the FDA as safe and effective decongestant in 1976. Based on mostly industry-funded studies that have been criticized for their methodology. Before 2006, pseudoephedrine was the main ingredient in over-the-counter decongestants. In the early 2000s, a federal law called for states to have comprehensive measures in place to control the drug's sale because of concerns it was being used to manufacture meth. The pseudoephedrine and all that crap was being used. They'll take it, they break it down, and they use a chemical from it to manufacture meth. It's very rampant here in our part of the country. So you'd have to go in, and you could only buy like 2 a certain time. You have to give your ID if you're going to buy Claritin. I used to take Claritin all the time, and it was the only thing that would clear up my nose. I actually knew what it was like to breathe out of both nostrils. So
I'm gonna go check the things that we regularly buy, because there's some things that we regularly take because it and I think the stuff with phenylphrine I noticed a long time ago, it just didn't do anything. So I used this other stuff. There's a different allergy medicine that I think
you take that's got phenylphrine in it, because 4/5 of everything out there has phenylphrine in it.
No, I avoid the one with phenylphrine because I don't keep all of this information in my head. I remember there's one and there's another, and we used one, and I was like, I'm still, that's not doing anything to me. So we switched to this other one, and I always avoid the one, and I go for the other. So, well, that's interesting. And the whole thing about studies, especially the 60s and 70s for FDA drug testing, all of that stuff. A lot of those
4 out of 5 doctors say that camels are completely safe for you. Smoke Camel cigarettes.
Yeah.
Seriously, that was real. It's not that cigarette company, but
well, when they did, I would really refer you to like RFK speaking on RFK Jr. speaking on some of this stuff, because he's told stories about like a tremendous amount of studies were run by the same guy at the FDA, and that guy was being basically paid by food and drug companies to keep their studies in the influence.
That's what I used to tell people when they would argue with me about a certain subject, that if I say it, we'll get kicked off of YouTube. But and they would say, well, studies show, and I would say, who did that study? Well, I don't know. Well, if you look up that study, that company that did that study, the majority shareholders of that company are a part of this company that's owned by the company that makes the product that they're doing the freaking study over.
But, you know, if you start connecting dots yourself, you are engaging in right-wing conspiracy theory, so...
Conspiracy theory is a word that was made up by the CIA and Project Mockingbird to make us all sound stupid and make us sound idiotic when we come up with something like this, so that no one would investigate and ask questions and just take the freaking media's word for it. Because when Project Mockingbird got started in the CIA, they had 400 media personalities on their payroll. 400 when it got started in the 60s. How many do you think there is today?
I don't know, but I know I'm not getting a paycheck.
I'm not either.
Where's mine? I'm not above it.
Conspiracy theory, that word was invented to make us sound stupid, to make people that ask questions sound like they're lunatics.
Would you like some good news?
Yes.
All right, I got some good news for you, sir. The United States
is awesome.
Unveils a plan to triple nuclear power by 2050. Triple nuclear power so that we can power these AIs to take over the world and robots and stuff.
I've got some AI stories for you.
President Joe Biden's administration is setting out plans that will be immediately discarded and replaced by awesome or better plans by Donald Trump for the United States to triple nuclear power capacity by 2050, with demand climbing for the technology as round-the-clock source of carbon-free power. Biden's administration is setting out plans. Let's see. Well, why'd they repeat this sentence there? Under the roadmap being unveiled Tuesday, the U.S. would deploy an additional 200 gigawatts of nuclear energy capacity by mid-century through the construction of new reactors, plant restarts, and upgrades to existing facilities. In the short term, the White House aims to have 35 gigawatts of new capacity operating in over a decade. 35 gigawatts, 100 gigawatts, 200 gigawatts. I can't mentally imagine that. Well, allow me to help you mentally imagine it. Here is what our current power generation looks like as a graph. Right now, about 576.2 gigawatts are powered by natural gas right now. We got another 196 powered by coal. We got 153 by onshore wind, but you have to subtract from that all the dead whales. We got 119 gigawatts of solar power, and only 100 gigawatts of U.S. energy are produced by nuclear power. It is the smallest fraction of our energy capacity.
Do you know why they said that about that offshore wind turbines that are killing the whales? Because Trump said that and the media went and, you know, they kind of made fun of him for saying that. But do you know why he said that?
Actually,
I looked it up.
Oh, do you? Well, let me tell you what I think, and you tell me if I'm wrong or right. So the windmill is planted into the earth underneath the ocean, and it's a giant towering rod. And then as the windmill is spinning, it's vibrating.
It vibrates in the water, and it's driving the whale. It's insane. Can you imagine?
It's like
it's killing these whales.
It's like listening to AOC constantly talking. Like she won't shut up all the time.
Water, all the time.
Yeah, and
these
the
whales
whales are like
killing themselves because they have to listen to AOC
not hear
all the
this
time.
stuff.
That was hilarious. Pretty good.
So they're like, F this, I'm out of here. And they drive up on the beach and they just die. And they're like, this is better. At least it's quiet.
that 191.4 gigawatts with other, that's a lot. Look, I mean, that dwarfs everything else. That's third. Do you know what that more than likely is?
Hippies on bicycles.
Hippies on bicycles. You're exactly right. There's a bunch of hippies in California that are riding by. That's a freaking Black Mirror episode, to be honest. This dude, he lives his whole life in this building, and he has to ride a bike every day because that's a part of your stuff is to work out. And you end up finding out that these these people are born and they die in this building, and they ride this bike and they work out, and this building generates power for all this other things. And these people are freaking batteries. It's freaking great. But anyway, a lot of our electricity generates from a lot of the South's electricity comes from the Tennessee Valley Authority, the TVA, and they get a lot of their electricity from the dam, Kentucky Dam, Barkley Dam. Yeah, there's a spot over at it generates electricity. That's what it does. And there's a spot over in the dam that when we would fish below the dam, catfish. That's where I grew up, catfishing below Kentucky Dam. And there's they call them the what was that old word that the old people used to call it? The boils. Don't get over into boils. And there was a spot over by the dam that they called the boils, and it looked like the water was constantly boiling right there. Well, that was because those giant fans were at the bottom of the freaking water, and they're turning. From when the water comes out, it's making those fans turn. It's generating electricity. Well, the rumor from the catfishermen were that those big, huge 50, 60, 70-pound catfish just lay next to those fans with their mouth open. And whatever fish go in there and get cut up, they just suck them up and they just live right. So those the old fishermen would try to fish around the boils. So you don't want to get your line caught up in those things, but you want to fish around where they're at. So yeah, isn't that funny? They said those big catfish just lay there with their mouth open.
So that says I looked at it twice. This is onshore wind, so that's not offshore wind. So that's not the ones killing whales. Whales getting killed must be in the 191.
Yeah,
that's the one killing birds, and other things like that. Yeah. All right. Well,
all right.
What do you think about having 300 gig? I mean, do you like tripling our nuclear output it's going to take 25 years and we'll get 200 more gigawatts. So it'll be 300 gigawatts. Like we're using energy faster than that rate of growth. So
it's going to create a lot of jobs, isn't it? A lot of good paying jobs.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking about killing things, I've got a story for you here.
Okay. All right.
There is a giant asteroid that they are calling the God of Darkness. And
oh, really?
They've known about it for a while, and it may kill everyone on Earth in 5 years. No, it's going to miss Earth. An asteroid named for the Egyptian god of darkness and disorder may not pose a hazard to Earth, but that does not mean Earth is not a hazard to it. So basically, this asteroid Apophis, I don't know how to say that. How do you say?
Oh yeah,
Apophis, Apep, Apophis, Apoph. I don't know.
Apophis.
Yeah, Apophis. Flies closely past Earth in 2029. The gravitational interaction between the two bodies is likely to dramatically alter the asteroid's surface. They're thinking. They were initially concerned about this object coming towards Earth.
Okay.
Upon its discovery in 2004, scientists calculated that the 335 meter, that's 1,100 feet chunk of rock, could potentially bring into a collision course with Earth in April of 2029. But scientists have crunched and recrunched, and they said that it's going to fly by less than 20,000 miles from Earth. There's no chance of it hitting our world in the next century. But they think the gravitational pull is going to dramatically alter the asteroid's surface. And they say that could answer why they have discovered some asteroids that have like younger rock, or it looks different than their age. They're like, well, this thing has to be this age, but it doesn't look like this. From their guesses. So
the moon is 238,855 miles. This is going to be 32,000. So it's going to be a lot closer than the moon, but still like way up there.
Let's see. That's it hitting around and then crashing into the Earth and destroying everyone.
I think we should catch it and use it to make robots. Mine it. Yeah. Can we mine it? Unless it's just rock. We don't need any more rock.
No, I think they've projected that some of those asteroids out there between us and Mars or past Mars are like worth trillions and like 100 quintillion dollars if you were to mine it. And let's stay on this things flying by Earth. Have you ever heard of Skynet?
Of course, yes. Yeah.
Why do you know Skynet?
Well, because of
the artificial intelligence in Terminator that's going to take over the world.
The documentary show.
A documentary about the future of the world. Did you know that we actually have a satellite in space named Skynet 1?
I did not know that.
Skynet 1A. It was launched by the United Kingdom a long time ago, 55 years ago.
Oh, really?
It's a satellite that the United Kingdom put up, launched Skynet 1A in 1969, and it was placed in orbit above the east coast of Africa in order to relay information to British armed forces. It was a military satellite. Okay.
All right.
It stopped working due to hardware issues around 18 months after it started operating, and the spacecraft was left to the laws of physics to orbit the Earth. It is now the oldest UK spacecraft still in space. Okay.
Okay.
It's a good idea to check on these defunct satellites every once in a while to make sure that the space debris is not, and of course to collide with any of the working satellites or any populated areas of the Earth below. So in the 70s, when the satellite was closely tracked, it was in a geostationary arc at a longitude of around 40 east, where it remained and was decommissioned. Such orbits are subject to gravitational perturbations by the sun, Earth, and Moon. So they're subject to wobbling. Yeah, so they took this into account. And they were like, they took this into account. If it did this and this and this, then it should be here and whatnot, right? It should stay there.
Okay.
So they checked on it again, and according to the UK registry, Skynet 1 is currently sitting very close to the bottom of the other oscillating just a couple of degrees. The spacecraft is not where it's supposed to be, according to what we know about orbits. It is now 22,000 miles above the Americas, and they say at some point in the intervening years, the satellite has likely been moved, but nobody appears to know when, who, or why. The tracking of the satellite has been patchy, particularly in the mid-70s when the maneuver appears to have taken place, and any records of what happened appear to have been lost. So according to this team and all their mathematical calculations, they're like, this satellite with physics and all this math should be either here, 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 or here. And it's way the crap over here. Why did it get over here?
It
so
seems
it's very interesting.
My immediate thought is
it stopped working.
It drifted. It like
that's what I'm saying.
They're lost my car keys in my house.
They're doing these mathematical and physics quotations, and they're saying if it drifted and if gravity and if it should be roughly in these areas, but it's not. It's way the crap over here, and we don't know how it got over there.
Yes, but we also know this about scientists. They always think they know what they're doing, and eventually they're like, oh, we were wrong. So
that's what science is, dude.
I know, but if they're like, it should be here, we did the math. And my first thought is like,
but you are a natural. That is just you.
I know.
You are a natural denier of anything that you say. You're automatic. And that's the opposite of me and you. Anything if I come out and say, did you know that after a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, what we don't know is that butterfly don't die. It turns into a blah, blah, blah. You'd be like, oh, it's bullshit. Well, we've actually got video, and every major scientist in the world has watched this and said the same. Well, those fucking guys are liars. That's just you.
All right. Well, what are the explanations? Someone moved it, or or they just stopped paying attention to it for a while, and it went farther than they thought. It got hit by an asteroid meteorite, and it got knocked a little bit, and they didn't account for that.
No, do you think the asteroid or the meteorite that's traveling through space is just going to go tink and knock it, or is it going to go tink and tear a freaking hole through it because it's going about 400,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to go through the middle of it. It's probably got like
I think they would have noticed something and they would have said that, the scientists are like, oh, well, the thing's destroyed.
I'm okay. So what do you think it is? Do you think
I don't know. I'm reporting the story. And I'm telling you that all the people that are better at math than me say that it's supposed to be in these areas with their math, and it's not.
All right, folks. Let us know what you think, folk.
Is there a good chance that a military satellite that went up in the 69 and stopped working 18 months after probably didn't stop working?
Maybe. I don't know. All right, I got a science story, and then we'll probably have to be run out of stuff. Scientists have discovered a new plant-eating insect in Kenya. There's been an exciting new discovery in the fight against plastic pollution. Mealworm larvae are capable of consuming polystyrene. They'll join the ranks of a small group of insects that have been found to be capable of breaking the polluting plastic down, though this is the first time that an insect species native to Africa has been found to be able to do this. Polystyrene, which is commonly known as styrofoam, is a plastic material that's widely used in food, electronic, and industrial packaging. It's difficult to break down and therefore durable. Traditional recycling methods like chemical and thermal processing are expensive and they create other pollutants. This is one of the reasons we wanted to explore the biological methods of managing this persistent waste. This guy's part of a team at the International Center of Insect Physiology and Ecology who have found that the larvae of Kenyan lesser mealworms can chew through polystyrene and host bacteria in their guts that help break down the material. The lesser mealworm is the larval form of Alphitobius.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I tried to do what you said when. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
When she comes in there, it's instant bargain or whatever. I have my phone, and I've got it on y'all's number. And when I heard her say it's instant bargain, I hit it.
Yep.
I stay on hold till I hear him say, "Well, that's the last one."
Yep.
So I don't know how in the world them people get ahead of me.
I don't know. That's the best way that I can think of to do it. As soon as she says that,
As soon as you hear her voice,
yeah,
you know who she is.
it's old Cindy. Yeah, she worked with us for years. Yep.
Anyhow, thank you.
Well, all right. Thank you.
I want to make sure.
No, you're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did we disappear? Did JJ freeze up? I think he froze up. All right. I don't know what's going on. I just come back. I had another story, but we'll just wait until tomorrow. I'm going to, I don't have the end of the show. So bye, everybody.